Alright guys, this is Adam and today I'm going to be talking about something that's kind of been bothering me. Um, I've been playing League of Legends for a long time and I've gotten into ranked recently and I've played about 80 to 90 games and it's kind of depressing that the state of Bronze League right now is in shambles in my opinion. I'm going to give you some opinions, well some points in my mind why I think Bronze League needs to be remade and it needs to be changed. Something needs to happen where people at this skill level can, you know, be challenged to improve. Because most of the games that I'm playing now, they're just based on luck. So I'm gonna go over some stuff that's really bothering me about Bronze League. I'm gonna tell you some of the problems. Um, and at the end, I might throw in some stuff that I think will help you win a bronze game. As many of you know, you have to go on a win streak to advance into a different, um, a different division inside bronze. For example, to get out of bronze 5, which is the lowest tier, you have to win probably two or three in a row for every loss. Now, with all these things that are thrown at you in Bronze League, it's almost a 50-50, between getting a bad team and getting a good team. So you can't go in a win streak because every other game you're fighting horrible circumstances. Um, Another one of the problems is in Bronze League, many of the players are speaking different languages, and I found this out. This is very common. So, communication is pretty much impossible. And this is once again, if you get that team with those three or four guys that don't speak your language, you're most likely going to lose because you can't talk to them. It's just really unfair. Just as Dyer said, in Bronze League, it doesn't really matter if you win your lane or not because at this level, one of your lanes will feed, and because in Bronze Champions snowball so hard because, no one can counter them, one lane can literally lose you the game. So even if you do good, it doesn't really matter. Champions like Xin, Akali, Singed, and most AD carries snowball so hard in Bronze because nobody knows how to counter them. Um, Not even to mention the more frequent AFKs, connection-related, disconnects, and rage quits because of the simple fact that there's not much on the line for a Bronze League game. Think about it. Like, what is a Bronze League game to someone who just got on and started ranked? He doesn't care if he wins or lose. He just wants to try it, and that has to change. And also the quality of the player's mindset and equipment are generally less than higher tiers of play. You know, Someone who just started playing bronze probably isn't going to have a competitive mindset, of ranked, and not necessarily the equipment or internet to suffice for playing in a ranked game. Um, a lot of this is also another common problem. An early lead in Bronze League games is almost always a win for the snowballing team because infamous finger pointing starts and almost all coordination is lost. Um, Once the enemy team gains a lead and your team starts to get the familiar steps to another loss, they start pointing fingers and getting angry with their teammates, and that's horrible. That's almost a guaranteed loss. Um, as many of you know, the key to winning a Bronze League game is positioning and team cooperation. Um, and in many cases in Bronze League, players will, constantly get caught out of position for free kills simply because they don't know any better. Um, Keep in mind you're dealing with players that a lot of them are not too skilled. Obviously, that's why they're in the league that I am. I want to put out a disclaimer. I am in Bronze League. This is why I'm making this. The sad thing is at this point, winning a Bronze League game is not necessarily about skill, but it's about what kind of players matchmaking decides to put on your team. That kind of angers me because at this point we're kind of at the mercy of Riot, and I've found the majority of my games are lost in the first 20 minutes because of poor decisions that are made. Um, I'm losing quite a bit more than I'm winning. I think I have 20 more losses than wins, and I just feel like a lot of them are lost in the first 20 minutes by poor decisions by bad players. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect because I do some of the mistakes they do. And this brings me to my next point. The problem I have with this is that, I've been playing with these types of players for around 80 games, like I said before. And because of that, I'm starting to see myself making the same mistakes that they are. And it's simply because I've been around that sort of play for so long. Um, it seems like to me, like, my play is only equal to the ones around me. And I feel that if I was presented with the opportunity to play against higher class players, my game would improve. Because I'm playing with people who have more skill, who can help me out in game and out of game. It's just frustrating because, I've spent a lot of time trying to make myself a better player, and I have nothing to show for it. You know, Bronze League is so much just about the circumstances and the probability of the teammates you're going to get. Um, some of the things that will help your team win. Um, there's not many of them. It's mostly luck, but here are things I've kind of, you know, found successful in getting a win. Like I said before, team cooperation and good team positioning will almost always grant you a win in Bronze League. This is really important. Um, especially in the early game, 3 to 5 man tower dives are a good example because if executed properly, they can really give your team a much needed early lead. Because like I said, an early lead in Bronze League, almost all the time will grant you a win. Because a snowball in Bronze League, no one can stop you because no one knows how to really counter you. Um, I find this really common in bottom lane because um, there's no you're not talking to your mid lane specifically. You're not in a call with them unless you're duoing. So you won't realize that their mid lane has came down through your jungle, and then their jungler has came around, and then the two bot laners push, and then they dive you. And if they do that once or twice in the early game, you're done. Like, there is no late game. Um, bottom lane snowballs really, really hard. Champions like Vayne, Caitlyn, Ezreal, if they're fed early game, it's pretty much over. Unless you have, once again, good team cooperation, you're able to crowd control them in team fights. Um, which is another thing, like, if someone's fed in team fights, you'll have your team focusing tanks, when in reality they should just be targeting those smaller, weaker targets and focusing them down before they go to the bigger tanks. It's just, I don't know, it's really disappointing that at this point I feel there's no way out. And I'm debating if I should even, continue to play ranked games, and not if I just should switch to normal games and play it for fun. Um, at this point, it's becoming more of just like constant discouragement, rather than fun. Because, it's always fun when you're winning. Everybody likes ranked when they're winning. But when they're not, they hate it. And that's the same with everything. Um, so I think that's all I have to say. And thank you guys for watching.